This is Miss Lizzie, and I want to welcome you to the Queen Lizzie podcast. Together, we will go through the history of Rosewood, Florida, and watch as the once prosperous town rises out of the bloodshed, fire, and ash to reveal the people, the memory, and the legacy of Rosewood. Watch every Thursday on Facebook and YouTube, or listen to our story on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Hello, everybody. I am Lizzie Polly Robinson Brown Jenkins, representing not only the Rosewood Foundation, but the personal testimonies and history of cherished friends and family. You are now watching the Queen Lizzie podcast. Today, we are talking with Dr. Rita Chandler. Welcome, Dr. Rita Chandler, to episode number 154, Rosewood.
Thank you, Queen Lizzie.
You are welcome.
I am very happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here to talk with me about your book. Will be one of the things that we are going to talk about, and Rosewood history, of course. And tell us something about where you work,
Okay.
how you got from point A to point B, like to Gainesville.
Oh my. Now that's an extensive story.
Okay, we'll cut it short.
Okay, yes, we will.
But you are now currently employed.
Yes, I am employed with the federal government. I work with the Gainesville Malcolm Randall VA.
Okay. How long have you been there?
I've been there 3 years.
3 years. And
I work as an administrative officer.
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Prior to coming here, I worked in Dublin, Georgia with the VA, and before that, I was a contractor overseas for a few years, and prior to that, I served in the military, in the Army, so I'm retired from the Army.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And it's always interesting, amazing to share information of such with our younger generation so they will know that, hey, it's more to college than college or college plus.
Oh yes, yes.
Yes.
Well, I did graduate high school in Alabama, so I'm originally from Alabama.
Okay.
Born, bred, and raised, as they say.
Okay.
But my travels took me to the Army,
Okay.
and while in the Army, I achieved an associate's, and at the end of my career in the Army, I achieved my bachelor's degree.
Okay.
After that, I went on to achieve the master's, and I just received my doctorate, honorary doctorate in humanities.
Oh, honorary. Okay.
Yes.
Well, congratulations to
Thank
all
you.
of the above. And we are sorority sisters.
Yes, ma'am.
I just met you, and I want you all to know that she is awesome. She picked me up from my home and took me to a meeting, a conference we had in January of this year.
This year, yes. Ma'am.
Drove me there and made sure I was comfortable and
Oh, yes.
checked in,
Yes.
and drove me back home. I'm only 88, but she took care of me, and I want you to know I appreciate it. I never
problem.
will forget the kindness.
Yes, ma'am. Always. One thing I will do, I will look out for my sisters, my sorors, and I will not hesitate to take care of those that are of mature value to us and our generation.
In other words, old.
No, you are
Okay,
not
mature.
old. You are mature and wise, because you have some stories to tell me, and I'm very willing to listen, because there are some interesting things that we can learn from our elders.
Exactly. And I enjoy sharing what I know because you and the younger generation, need to know
Yes.
how we got from point A to point B. It wasn't just a hand-me-down, and what our kids don't realize, they are successful today, but how and why? Because of many of our ancestors they were educated, common sense, mother's wit. They were not degreed.
Yes.
But it was I tell my friends that my mom eighth grade education, to me it was equivalent to a PhD.
Hmm.
They were smart,
Very smart.
common sense, and
Hmm.
because of them we are.
Yes.
Yes,
We
yes.
stand on their shoulders.
Thank you forever. And they want us to keep the history alive
Yes.
so that people will know. And there are some powerful, strong black women. And I admire you all. But just don't forget to look back and, hey,
Yes.
touch someone.
We definitely have to honor and touch our elders and our ancestors.
We do. That's important. That's important. And I understand you have a new job coming up, hopefully, maybe.
I do have a new job coming up. I will be moving from Gainesville to Tuskegee, which
Okay.
is a very historical
Yeah.
area for Alabama. But I will be going to the Tuskegee VA.
And make sure you get in touch with Tuskegee Institute and make sure I am invited to come there and talk about Rosewood
I
history.
will. I will do that. I will definitely do that. That is a plan. That is on my calendar and thought process. I've already reached out to some people down there. So that plan is already in the works.
All right, wonderful. And also, I want you all to know that before I met you, I'm a young lady from Mobile, Alabama.
Yes, Mobile.
Mobile, Alabama called me and invited me to Mobile in July of this year
Yes.
to speak and share the Clyde, what is it? Clyde Tilda.
Clytilda. Yes.
Is it Clyde? Yeah, Clyde Tilden
Mm-hmm.
history that I had never heard of before. And amazing. You know how things work for the good of the Lord.
Yes.
You didn't know that I knew her and she didn't know. But when I told you and asked you about it, you said, "Oh yeah, I know." And then you went on to share with me about your town
Mm-hmm.
on the water. Tell me about that.
So Lake Martin, which is a town near where I grew up, was formed on top of a town called Cowaliga Industrial Community. It was a black town that was thriving, very economical town that was thriving. And because they would not sell the land to Alabama Power released the dam and built the dam and released the waters from that dam. And they drowned most of that community um, so that they could build Lake Martin and then have their little dam and build and thrive Alabama Power right there in Lake Martin. And it still stands. And there are some buildings still standing to this day from that community. It's very few, but there are a few buildings there still as far out as Tallapoosa County. Um, there was a slave who had gained and his rights as a freed man, and he bought a little bit of land until he had bought up to 3,000 acres. And the acreage stretched from that area all the way to Tallapoosa County. And so they he built schools, the Dixie Crystal Sugar Company. He built, there were schools, there was sugar cane, a ginnery, and several other economical things for the community there. And what they did is they brought in black students so they could be educated in different trades. And when they saw that the crops and the land was flourishing, the white communities wanted the land.
Okay.
And because he would not sell, they started trying to get the land, and he wouldn't sell. So they built a dam around it. They built the dam around his area and all that land, and they released the dam and drowned a lot of the people there.
Wow.
And so those that survived moved away. And when there was no one that ancestrally can be found to this day.
Really?
But about, I think it's 10 or 15 years ago, there was someone else in the state, some historical researchers in the state started researching it. And so they found that no, there haven't been any ancestors that were connected to it, but they have found a lot of the buildings, and they found a lot of documents and pictures that, and documents and pictures that actually state what actually took place. So this has been an interesting find in the last few years. So it's been good to know the real history behind it. And these are some things that, yes, people in the community have always talked about, but nobody's really did anything about it or written it down and documented it. But now it's starting to be documented and researched.
And that's awesome, because when I talked to Charlene, can't remember, Taylor, okay, who is working with the Clotildian, and I'm probably saying it wrong.
Clotilda.
When I talked to her, she was not aware of it, and I said, "Hey, I have a soror who lives next door to you, almost grew up, and you didn't know about her. You didn't know each other. You didn't know the history, but we have brought together through me. Hey, through Rosewood, okay, two more history, uncomfortable histories, as I refer to them, and our history is out there, and it needs to be known." And I was so excited. I was like spellbound when you were telling me that story. Why? Because I am also a member of the Juneteenth International Education Foundation. And our soror, Opal Lee, is also a member of that, and she's 97. So we were talking on that, on a Zoom one afternoon. We were talking about towns that were dams. I don't know if dam destroyed them, but water that were built. They just destroyed our towns. And when I heard this information later about your town, I said, boy, this is real history. This is something I shared with them. And somebody's going to be in touch with you from the foundation, from the Juneteenth Foundation, because they want to know your experience as a family member. I call you as an ancestor. So that we can make sure we keep the history alive and we share this history with other people. This is amazing. When I say amazing, I don't mean amazing. It's amazing that these things have gone on and we knew nothing about it.
Well, there's also Lake Lanier, which is not far from there, but that's in Georgia. And there may be a 60 or 70 mile span between Lake Martin and Lake Lanier, and the same thing happened.
Are you serious?
Yes, same thing.
Oh my God. Yes. I am so glad you're on the show, and I'm so glad you all are listening, and I'm glad this is a history station as well, because we need to know. And there are some people here that I am working with, and his daily passion is finding, and he will listen to this, I'll make sure he does, finding uncomfortable or hard history, Black history, and talk about it. We need to know about it. We need to know. And that's in Georgia. Well, I know where, like I said, with the Juneteenth, we meet almost every night. I don't ever attend all of the meetings because it's a lot of work. But they got it going on. And I'll say to my soror, Opalie, "Hi, Sarah." She doesn't know who I am, and I don't know her, just name, and I know she's on the show. And she said, "Hi, Sarah." You know, we connect like that, but as far as knowing her, I don't. But I'll plan to meet her soon. She, as I said, she's 97. She is a genius. She is the person who did what? She walked from somewhere to somewhere. Anyway, I remember President Biden gave her an honor, okay, for being the first person to connect to Juneteenth, and it is so wrong, but this will give you all an opportunity to look her up and read about her and find out her importance, okay? But thank you so much for that delivery. Awesome. I did not know that, and like you say, there are many more towns, and I'm excited because you are going to be leaving us. Not because you're leaving us, but you're going to be bringing us information that we need to know about in Tuskegee,
Oh yes,
the
there's
home
a
of the
lot of history there.
right,
A lot of history.
and it's the home of the
Tuskegee Airmen.
all right. And I think the last one died, was it this year or last year?
Early this year.
Early
Early
this
this
year.
year.
Okay. And they were something else. Yes. Okay. So it's about time for our first half. We are going to head to a quick break, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
I am Black History.
I am Rosewood Black History.
I am Florida
and
America's Black History.
And you are too.
January 1st, 1923, the KKK insurrectionists attacked Rosewood, killing 5, burning it down.
Because a white woman lied and cried, a black man assaulted me. Rosewood redevelopment is on its way.
Want to help? Visit rosewoodflorida.com.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, 2 things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured,
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
and our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
Welcome back to Queen Lizzie Podcast, brought to you weekly from the Steve Spurrier Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We are here with Dr. Rita Chandler. The Queen Lizzie Podcast is brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union, live from the Meldon Law Gator Studios at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Welcome back. And we are going to talk about our sponsors, very supportive sponsors here at Steve Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. I appreciate you, Steve Spurrier, Coach Steve Spurrier, infamous coach, okay? And allowing us, to use your podcast room, okay, to get the history of Rosewood out or presented so that all of us will remember it. Thank you, Freddie Weeby, Marketing, for sponsoring our producer, Zach. And did I say that right? You are the producer, aren't you, Zach?
That's right, yep, producer for Weeby Marketing.
Okay. And he does an outstanding job. And Meldon Law is a young man, the lawyer, who for the last 50 years almost has sponsored an Athlete of the Week. And of course, Campus USA Credit Union with Jerry Benton. Thank you all very much. Every weekend there is a brunch here at Spurrier from 11 to 3 p.m. Don't miss it, the best in town. And there are many people, because of my show, tell you the truth, we have generated many many African American people, black people. Why? Because they know Lizzie is here. They come here. They enjoy seeing my photo on the marquee. As of yesterday, I got a call from my cousin who recently moved from New York to Ocala, and he said, Liz, I heard about your show. I want you to know I have already scheduled my dad's 90th birthday in the room, what room is it?
This Coach's podcast room.
In the podcast room, but no, in the visor.
Oh, Visor's upstairs.
Yes,
I got
in
you.
the visor, because we know that Spurrier supports you. So we want him to know that we are supporting because he supports our history, so we can at least, sponsor and bring him business. So it's like a two-way street. We enjoy each other, and I appreciate you. As I said, the food is like the best, and people here know me, and they respect what I am doing. And it's not about Black history, it's America's history, and I enjoy my time spent here. And back to my friend, my soror, who is writing a book, and she's going to tell you all about the book that she is writing.
Yes.
So it's all right, Rita, Dr. Rita.
My book is called When God Rebuilds a Woman. It's a transformative book for women who are high functioning, and it's not just Black women, ladies. Ladies, it's any woman. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Indian, whoever you are out there, ladies, you're high functioning, you went through the chaos and the storm, you've come out of it, and you're just like, what do I do now? Where do I go from here? And you've reached that moment where I've done all I can do, and I just don't know where to go. What direction am I going to take now? Well, I didn't do this book to tell you where to go. It's just a guide. I'm going to give you a problem that I experienced or that we together might have experienced, how it made me feel, some options that I took, some directions. I'm going to give you an example in that book. Each chapter, and it's not a really long book. It's about 7 or 8 chapters long. In each chapter, maybe 10 minutes. Each chapter gives you a little exercise at the end, maybe 3 questions that help to guide you and give you a little exercise at the end to kind of just help you put things in perspective for you. That's it.
Okay.
When you're done, you're going to have your own path set for you. You're going to feel real comfortable.
And where can they order your book?
Well, the book is in editing right now.
Okay.
But it will be on Amazon, and you'll be able to get it through Kindle. And I'm looking at some other options as well. I think Barnes & Noble is one of the options that I'm looking at as well. So it will be in print, and it will be digital.
And the name of it again?
The book is called When God Rebuilds a Woman.
Okay. We're going to be looking forward to that book.
Yes.
And we're going to grow from it. And I hope you're inspired to write your own book, because there is a book in each one of us.
Yes.
So write it. You will never know who will read it. Write it. We need to put it in written form. Encourage your children too.
Yes.
Also to write. So we have the book, and my mom, when I was growing up, I became her little appointed, ordained now, storyteller. And she wanted to make sure that the Rosewood history, because Rosewood was a town that was destroyed in 1923 because of a lie, and her sister was injured mentally, never got over it, and I'm not going to go into that. But anyway, the history is important for us to remember. And she said, you know what, we are oral historians, because many times, and we've already talked about it, they was not as educated. Our story was oral history, and we told our story in song. So my mother said, I want you to keep this history alive, research, document, authenticate, never accuse anybody of what happened in 1923, because they are not responsible. Just tell the story and tell it truthfully. And Mama needs to write you a song. She said, baby, I know you can't sing. And she did say that because she really had a voice. But she said the words, the message is important. So 12 verses long. However, the most 3 important verses to her, she wanted to make sure I shared them because they are non-biased. And I'm going to talk about the school teacher. That's her sister, okay? And I'm going to talk about Archer. Her sister was from Archer, where I live today and where we are going to build the Rosewood Museum. And Gainesville, I will talk about Gainesville. All of this is in Alachua County. I will talk about Gainesville because the trains, it didn't stop in Gainesville, but my last verse talks about Gainesville. But before I do the song, I also want you all to know that on Friday of last week, I was summoned to a radio station where they own 6 radio stations, and I was interviewed by four of the 6 radio stations. And the song, the verses that I'm going to sing, I also sang those same verses for the radio station. As of today, I'm thinking it went live on 4 stations with my song that I'm about to sing for you all. They were so excited and glad to help, and they are going to have me back. And I have known some of these guys for years because I've been on their radio stations, but they reached out to me for some reason wherein the timing was perfect, because today at 4, from 4 to 7 p.m., I will be in Rosewood representing or commemorating the 22 years of the Rosewood historical marker that has been in Rosewood for 22 years. And 22 years ago on May 4th, today is May 4th, wherein I invited Florida Governor Jeb Bush to Rosewood to dedicate the historical marker. The historical marker is the only thing that's still there, and the house that John Wright, the store merchant, lived in. They're the only thing that are still in Rosewood, representing Rosewood. And I made sure, thinking ahead of the game when I had that marker placed in Rosewood, I made sure it was placed directly behind the Rosewood house, which is adjacent to the Rosewood sign, so that when people go to read the sign, the marker, if they are not invited or allowed to go to the house of John Wright, they were able to see, they can see the house from the marker. So the song goes like this. Water. May I have a water break?
Yeah, of course.
The Cedar Key train conductors were told to pick up in Rosewood. Standing by the tracks with the lantern, its young school teacher stood, waiting in desperation to carry out the sheriff's plans, rounding up the hidden survivors to board the midnight train. The sheriff and the store owner worked around the clock. Oh Lord, inform the train conductors just when and where to stop. Pick up the men, women, and children who were hiding out, and bring them to Archer, Florida, traveling the same old route. Bob Walker and John Wright took on a daring risk. Put the survivors on the train, Lord, and sent them off with a kiss. Notified the Gainesville families to be on the lookout for their kin. Told them the train was coming and told them exactly when. And as I said, the train didn't stop here, but that is the last verse I chose to sing because it went all the way up to through Lordy, Maxville, Callahan, and it ended up and stopped in Brightsville, where the Bryce brothers, the 2 train conductors, lived. That was their home, Brightsville. So it's amazing story. It's amazing history, and I want all of the kids to learn the song. Yes, I do have it, and I'm going to release it soon. But that song is very, very, very important. And I have another song I'm going to release also that I did in 2010. It is different. It's awesome. It's crazy, but I did it. Okay. So that's where we are. As I said, I'm going to Rosewood today just to be there in the event anybody stops by. And I want you all to know that all because I'm a politician from my heart, I have invited every candidate from Levy and Alachua County to be on my podcast, to get in touch with me and invite yourself, and I certainly will accommodate you. And I'll interview you, including Florida gubernatorial candidates too. I have interviewed one, David Jolly, but the rest of you, hear me. You are welcome to call and be a part of the Queen Lizzie podcast show. I think that's everything. Oh, and by the way, we are planning a telethon. We got to raise money to build our Rosewood Museum. We have had it. The mapping has been done. The survey has been done, and we also have renderings. So what we need to do is raise money now to build our museum. And as we speak, we are working on doing. I'm honored to have you to come in today and be my guest. You are very special to me. I will always remember you because you took your time and came out and carried me, chauffeured me to Orlando. I appreciate that. That meant a lot to me. I will never forget you, okay? And would you like to say anything before we exit the show?
Yes, I would like to say thank you for this great opportunity to speak on your podcast and to be a guest. I am humbled and honored. Just to be in your presence is an honor anyway. I love being in your presence. When I first met you, I just felt that honor just being in your presence. So I just want to thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
With that being said, you want me to close out?
Yes.
Okay. I am continuously humbled, honored, and blessed to meet people daily and invite them to join in peace building, healing, and reconciliation through learning about the history of Rosewood. That will wrap up today's episode. I'm Dr. Rita Chandler. Until next time, bye.
Goodbye.